Yo, Shrek guys, hey, thanks for dropping by. All right, this is going to be my comparison video of my 1.0 and 2.0 versions of Hot Toys Terminator 2 Judgment Day T-1000. Since purchasing my 1.0 in 2010, he has proudly sat on my shelf showcasing the classic police officer uniform. So join me as I showcase my recent 2.0 acquisition and transform my 1.0 into the highway patrol officer's attire. Let's get right to it and have a look at the upgraded 2.0 sculpt of Robert Patrick as the T-1000. Hopefully the lighting is not too bright and helps to pick up some of the shadows and highlights the sculpt. A vast improvement from the 1.0 sculpt. But we have to remember the original is 15 years old and in my opinion not too bad and on par with the head sculpts of that time. The second head sculpt included is the donut head. This head was not part of the original release but instead included in the 2010 Toy Fair exclusive Terminator 2 Judgment Day T-1000 in Sarah Connor disguise. This is a fantastic head sculpt and I do feel it may be the one I will be using in my display. If I was to knock it points, it would be that I would have preferred the mouth to be slightly open. Let's bring in the split head secondary sculpt with the 1.0. This is the head sculpt that I've been using currently in my display. Again, outdated in terms of likeness, but not too bad for its time. For those curious about interchangeable heads, sorry guys, I won't be doing it in this video. However, I can show you the bottom sockets. Slightly different in diameter, and I do believe that the 2.0 is just a hair shallower. Okay, for those not familiar, this release has articulated eyes. Hot Toys defines them as separate rolling eyeballs. This little device, which is also included, allows you to reach inside the head, select each individual eye, and reposition. Oops, let's try that one again. Nope, maybe I'll do this off screen. It requires a lot of tinkering, folks. Okay, much better. Reposition looking sideways. Let's bring in the donut head, which I have already positioned eyes looking sideways. Let's do another 360 to appreciate the level of detail in this sculpt. Okay, let's open the back and use our little tool and see how successful we are at repositioning the eyes. Not too bad, not too bad. I'm getting the hang of this thing, guys. Again, going back to the head sockets and bringing in my 1.0, you know, it might be doable. It just might be, but I'm not going to be squeezing it in. I just don't want to damage it. But you can see right here, it just rests on top. And here's the comparison of the ball joints. The 2.0 on the left and the 1.0 on the right. You can see that the 2.0 is slightly larger. Okay, here are the bodies. 2.0 on the bottom, 1.0 on the top. Slightly different color scheme, color hue with both of the uniforms. And let's flip them over and see the back. There's a slight difference in the back of the shirts. Pants, well, they're both different. You know, one's the 2.0 currently has the patrol bike pants, and the 1.0 has the regular policeman pants. So similar, but yet slight differences. Hard to compare. When comparing the badges, you'll notice that the 1.0 has some green paint in it compared to the 2.0, which does not. Also notice the buttons. The 2.0 is slightly smaller compared to the 1.0. Helmets, guys, I can't see a difference at all. They look identical, they look the same. Maybe somebody else can call it out, but I don't see any difference. The inside, however, if we're looking at the 2.0, you can see the inside protective foam and its shape compared to the 1.0, which I feel has more protection, more foam to protect your head sculpt. For the pistol, 2.0 on the left, 1.0 on the right. The 2.0 is just straight up black, flat, compared to the 1.0 on the right, which is more weathered and has a little bit of a brownish hue. So I definitely like the 1.0 much better. The detachable magazine or cartridge, I don't know what you call it, with the little bullet exposed are pretty much the same. I really like the packaging of the 1.0 right here, the clamshell, compared to the packaging of the 2.0. These are the magnetic liquid effects. Loop. Loop. That attach to the shirt. Okay, so again, 2.0 on the left, 1.0 on the right. And you will notice that the 1.0 has a little bit of a wash right in the very center, a little bit of a browning effect, which is not there on the 2.0. 2.0 is just straight up paint, very similar to the pistol, where the 1.0 had just a little bit of a wash going on there. Again, nice clamshell effect on the 1.0 just for its effects. Submachine gun, pretty much the same. You could argue that the paint on the 2.0 is much darker. Boots, pretty much the same, but you can see how much more shinier the 2.0 version is. No doubt from the same mold. Okay, now this is unique to the 2.0, the boots. I really like this, and I am going to be putting these on my patrol officer figure. All right, 1.0 on the top. I've turned off my light so you can kind of see, hopefully with not too much brightness. There seems to be more of a wash compared to the 2.0. 2.0 is just straight up black. And I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to be putting the 1.0 version on my 2.0. Again, a closer look at my 1.0 belt, more of a lived-in look, be similar to what I wear. Now, I did notice that the extra clips contained in the 1.0 is not included actually in the 2.0 version. Also, small paint details on the 1.0 compared to the 2. There is also some print on the walkie-talkie of the 1.0. Quick look at the flashlights. Again, just color variation. With the jackets, again, the 2.0, no green on the badge. And you can see the green on the badge here. Also, notice that there's buttons on the 1.0. I'm not sure if that's accurate to the movie, but you can see the 2.0 does not have it. Badges on the side, pretty much the same, just color variations. Not sure which one's more movie accurate. This is the first time using my 1.0 jacket, and I did like that it actually contained a little bit of a plastic mold inside just to keep its shape, not included in the 2.0. And here's just a comparison of the police officer's pants and also the patrol officer's pants, the one with the stripe on the side, which is used for the boots. Not much difference with the blade hand. Also, the claw hands are pretty much the same, although 2.0 seam lines are more obvious than the ones on the 1.0. We get two pointy hands with the 2.0, which is fantastic. One's length is just a little bit longer than the others. You You can see the details, the veins and everything on the hands, which are perfect compared to the 1.0, which is pretty much simple. And here are the hands that are included. 2.0 on the left, 1.0 on the right. I think I much prefer the 1.0 glasses that have more of a reflective surface compared to the ones from the 2.0, which appear to be more matted. With so many similarities between the two, it's interesting that the shoes are very different. All right, guys, here they are. No heads, no hands. It's time to change your looks. Flip them around. I do admit that I really like the way the pants fold on the 1.0. It looks really good. All right, this is the 18 plus time. You kids, you guys go to bed. Okay, here's the leg portion of the 1.0 for those curious to see what it looked like. Okay, I've added the pants and also the liquid metal effect boots from the 2.0 version. Here's the 1.0 jacket. And finally, the 2.0 belt. Let's grab the bottom portion of the helmet, place it right there. And now we grab the top portion, but we forgot the glasses. So let's get those glasses on. And there you go, looking nice, looking sharp, looking dangerous. Here's a side-by-side comparison with the 2.0. And he's done my highway patrol officer using some of the 2.0 materials. The fingers, the blade, the boots, and the belt. Now this 2.0 version comes with this fantastic diorama base, mimicking the last scenes of Terminator 2 in the factory. It also lights up using USB power. Okay, now it's time to remove his pants and replace them with the police officer's pants. What's interesting is there's a fabric that is sewn to the shirt around the crotch area. I guess this prevents the shirt from untucking. Interesting idea. Okay, here are the dress pants. Let's put them on. Also, here's the socks. 2.0 on the left, 1.0 on the right. And finally, my 1.0 belt. And here he is all put together. I even added the metal effects, the bullet effects. This is not my final pose. I'll probably repose it down the road, but just for this review and comparison, that's the one I'm going to go with. And this is lit only by the base. I've turned off my room lights so you can see how bright it is. It actually poses a good effect with the background too. Okay, last time, here is my patrol officer look, 1.0 with 2.0 elements. Love the reflective glasses on the 1.0. You can see right there the reflection. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay, we have a few special guests today. Let's start off with my 2012 DX T-800 Terminator 2 Judgment Day. There is an upgraded figure for this now, just released in 2025. I'm not going to be purchasing this. I still consider this to be a grail, and to be honest, it's still a great figure, and I'd rather use that money for something else, another IP. I just love this figure. The first one was the DX13. This is the DX10, released at the same time, 2012. Again, there's another upgrade for this in 2025. I'm going to be keeping this one. I won't be upgrading. This is another great figure. Love it. All right, the 2.0 is here with my 2010 Tech Noir T-800. Now, you guys who know Hot Toys can see that the base is different, and I've also purchased the extra police shootout secondary head sculpt just to be an accent to this. This is a lovely figure. Of course, it could be, there's room for upgrade, but I'm going to keep this guy. Love it. All right, from Terminator Salvation, another old Hot Toys piece. This is the T-600 from 2009. Love this piece. It's really great, very well articulated. Something to look forward to in 2026 or 2027 is Hot Toys and InArt's offerings of the T-800 endoskeleton. And since I just mentioned InArt's, why not introduce a little Middle Earth to the display? And here's my sculpted head Aragon. Wonderful piece. Looking forward to the Thorin, which I have pre-ordered, hopefully coming in sometime next year. All right, guys, I hope you... Hey, what's that? Let's have a look, shall we? Wow, please take some time to appreciate this beautiful illustration which I drew for you. And we know, like always, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Bo Shrek. That's me. Give it a thumbs up. All right, guys, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed my comparison video of my 1.0 and my 2.0 and my conversion to the Highway Patrol. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.